On April 4th, 2024, NATO celebrates its 75th anniversary, and Denmark has been involved from the start. But what is NATO? And what has it meant for Denmark to be a member?
Så foretog general Snavely den officielle overdragelse.
NATO, or the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, was founded in the aftermath of World War II. The dust had barely settled before relations between the United States and Western Europe on the one hand, and the Soviet Union on the other, became problematic. In Denmark, it was originally hoped to maintain its neutrality.
Russia had swallowed up 8 European countries without firing another shot.
But communist takeovers in a number of European countries put fear in the country's politicians. The result was a collective defense alliance between the Western European countries and the United States, which had to counter the threat of invasion or coup attempt from the Soviet Union.
To ensure this, they are sworn to stand together against aggression.
Denmark was one of the 12 original members who signed the Atlantic Treaty on 4th of April 1949. The ghosts of the invasion on April 9th, 1940 still loomed in memory, and with a NATO membership, Denmark said goodbye to almost 100 years of neutrality policy.
Alligevel afhænger hele deres effektivitet af samarbejdet mellem en lille håndfuld mænd. Deres opgave er at holde fjenden under observation, så pålidelige meldinger kan gå bagud.
With the stroke of a pen, Denmark became a frontline state in a new reality.
Fregatterne er marinens sværest armerede skibe.
At the forefront of a new conflict between East and West. For the following 4 decades, Denmark lived in the shadows of the Cold War.
Og der er styrker, som kan rense materiellet for radioaktivt nedfald.
With the threat of nuclear war and invasion hanging over its head.
Det er hærens ansvar over for de andre medlemmer af Atlantpagten, over for den danske skatteyder, og sidst, men ikke mindst, over for det indkaldte mandskab.
As a member of the NATO alliance, Denmark was protected by a so-called Musketeer Treaty. This meant that Denmark could expect help if the country was attacked. The demand from NATO was that Denmark maintained a so-called territorial defense, which, together with NATO allies, had to face the threat of an invasion from the east.
Det danske forsvars virkeområde strækker sig fra havbunden til stratosfæren.
1989, the Berlin Wall fell, and a few years later the Soviet Union collapsed. But that did not mean the end of NATO cooperation. Instead, the focus came on international missions, which came to occupy more and more space over the next 2 decades. As a NATO member, Denmark has participated in missions in the Balkans, in Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, the Baltics, and many other places. NATO missions have for many years been somewhat distant.
Der skal styrke til at opnå en sikker fred, sagde generalen.
But with Russia's invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, the alliance and its role in the defense of Europe are once again highly relevant. From the Baltics in the east to the Arctic in the north, Denmark actively participates in military cooperation in NATO.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, welcome to this 166th Military Committee and Chief of Staff session.
Because NATO is not just a military alliance. It is also a political collaboration based on common democratic values. When we celebrate the 75th anniversary of NATO, it is an opportunity to recognize and understand Denmark's history as an ally and in this historic alliance, but also to discuss Denmark's role and commitment to maintaining peace, security, and stability in Europe and throughout the world through its membership of NATO. Dear NATO, happy 75th anniversary.